This Louis Litt needing a day thing is unreal.
Is it 68,000 now?
Let's see what it's got. I mean, it's got so many. Almost 900,000 people have viewed Louis Litt needing a day. Almost 40,000 have liked it.
So we'll get to 1 million views.
On Louis Litt needing a day.
If you needed a day.
And you found yourself here, taking a day.
Yeah.
With me, Maggie.
Me, Amanda.
Talking about Suits. You found yourself in the right spot.
And we would love for you to tell 2 friends.
2 friends who also need a day.
2 friends who need a day. And also, if you haven't remembered to leave a review, this is a good time to do it.
Okay, let's clap. Shall we?
1, 2, 3. I came in to do.
And I was like, hi.
1, 2, 3. Ow.
Ouch. Wait, did that get a good one?
Did it get a good one?
Do another one.
1, 2, 3. That was weak as fuck. 1, 2, 3. We just should clap. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters.
In law.
We're watching Suits 1 episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, 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 only Suits fans.
This is season 3, episode 13, Moot Point. I gotta say it again. Moot. This is season 3, episode 13, Moot Point. Which one did you like better?
I think I might have liked the first one better.
Moot Point.
A little harder on the these writers like Moot Point.
Tight as titties.
Oh my god, Amanda, the way you're
Tight as titties.
that sounds pretty incredible.
Tight as titties.
It sounds really incredible and also like a robot.
Tight as titties.
Well, speaking of things that are tight as titties, I would love to read my brief for you.
Is it tight as titties?
Tight as titties. Okay.
Let's brief it.
From chips on shoulders to calling in chips for favors to chips off the old block. Let me chip away at this week's episode with a little brief. Elliot Stemple is the only jerkhole who has ever beaten Harvey, and he is the slimiest slimeball of a lying lawyer type. But thanks to Harvey's chip off the old block Mike, Harvey finally has a chance to put their rivalry to rest and be owing everything once again. Unfortunately, unlike Harvey, Mike will never know the Muhammad Ali knockout glory in the presses because he has to live and work in the shadows. Speaking of shadows and shady figures, Louis goes head-to-head with Scotty over the Franklin acquisition. He may be the toughest guy in the yard, but he's quite an insecure little baby boy when he calls in his chip for Harvey to pull Scotty from the case. Grab some chips and dip, because this episode is tasty. Sponsored by Tostitos.
Tostitos. I'm secretly a robot. I was a witch last week.
A witch last week, a robot this week. What can't you do?
Speaking of, we actually, before we hop in, we heard back from Sharon.
She responded so fast.
She did. Well, we emailed her to make sure that it was okay if we read her email. So what you heard last
69.
week. Yeah, Big Fan 69. She was okay with this, so we did read the whole entire email. That's what you heard.
Mm-hmm.
So this week, we asked her, she was going to tell us like the origin story, and I'm not going to read the whole thing unless you think I should.
No, I mean, I think
just here's a clue. So she hasn't actually told us what the origin story is.
Stringing us along.
But you are stringing us along. But guess what? We're okay being strung, Sharon, because we want to know what the origin story is. She says, okay, I'm going to give you a hint about my origin story for Big Fan 69. In bold, she says, it's all about the balls.
This feels like a red herring to me because it's like I said it was probably about 69, but now that she says it's all about the balls, I'm like, is there some basketball something?
I don't know.
Bowling?
I guess if anybody here out here that's listening knows or wants to make a guess, they could write in.
I hope no one is going to write in anymore about Suits. It's all going to just be
About this username?
Big Fan 69.
That's fine.
We're all big fans of your username, Sharon.
Okay. Thank you, Sharon. Anyways, let's get into storyline 1.
This is just a little teaser. This is a little gelato in our pools watching the season finale of a storyline.
So this first storyline is not really a storyline per se. It's just...
It's just a reason to open with Mike and Rachel.
Yeah,
every single episode is opening with Mike and Rachel.
Yeah.
And Mike went and got the picture of Rachel with her as Minnie Mouse from her dad and has it framed. It's going to look so good next to their painting of Panda. Their home is really coming together.
He's got a new lease on life, thanks to Rachel helping him get Lewis to drop it. Mike wants to get Harvey a gift, and he wants to get him something that money can't buy.
But what is it?
What is it? I don't know. Yeah.
The next time we see Mike and Rachel is at the very end, and Rachel has set up the entire apartment.
In her Louboutins.
Those
are impossible shoes to just stand in for a picture, let alone to set up the entire apartment.
I mean, I think about like the bookshelves and things, and I'm like, that would take me all day.
Yeah, I have boxes in a closet that I haven't unpacked yet, and I've been here for over 2 years.
Yeah, like no way, Rachel.
Yeah.
We know you're good, but you're not that good.
Yeah.
And then they have a nice lamp that has these fancy little legs, and they have so many pictures and frames. Like not of them, just like
There's
photography.
Pictures. Yeah, it's beautiful.
That makes me wonder, is like Rachel a photographer?
Yeah.
Does she do that? Is that a hobby? It seems like something she would do.
Crazy.
At the very end, she says, next thing you know, you'll get a promotion. But we know he's not, because this episode
really ties into the Elliot Stemple versus Harvey Specter. So we've got a couple of storylines in here, but this is the one that's like big. So this is Mike, and we see Mike and Donna, and Mike is asking Donna, hey, I need to get Harvey a gift that money can't buy. And she's like, I've got this one thing that you can do. It's very personal, right? And she goes, it's hard to get Harvey something because he gets what he wants and he doesn't want what he doesn't want what he doesn't get. So, which is like an incredible shirt, right?
First, she makes fun of Mike's tie, which I didn't think the tie was that bad.
They all make fun of Mike's tie.
It's just a striped tie.
Yeah, but
You
they
can't wear a striped tie?
have a hard time with it.
Yeah, I just didn't know it was a bad tie.
It just didn't cost a lot of money. You know? Game recognizes game.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Donna does have one thing that money can't buy. It's so personal. And so Mike goes and gets it. And we see Mike with Harvey, and he brings him this gift. And it's a case against Elliot Stemple, he's the attorney of record on the other side. And Stemple has been ducking Harvey for years, and now Harvey can finally take him on and beat his ass.
Yes. Stemple beat Harvey in moot court at Harvard 3 times.
Yes.
The only person to ever beat him.
Right.
And then never in the real world ever saw him
Yeah.
out, even though they both practice law in New York.
Yeah.
So it's
They're
like this
bound
is,
to run up against each other.
he is for sure ducking him. Harvey and Elliot see each other in the courthouse, and Elliot, of course, wears a bow tie.
Yeah, he does.
We know how Harvey feels about bow ties.
Yeah.
He doesn't like them. He doesn't think they have a place in the lawyer world.
Nope, he doesn't like
especially
them.
not on his floor.
Nope.
And of course, Elliot. Maybe it's because of Elliot.
Maybe. Might be. That might be the PTSD of Elliot. And
The
speaking of
PTSD
post-traumatic Stemple disorder.
Ugh, that's a good one. That's a good one. They walk in, and they're in the courtroom, and Stemple thinks he's going up against Mike Ross.
Right.
Some nobody attorney.
Yes.
But then Harvey walks in and takes his place next to Mike, and Stemple's kind of like, uh-oh, it's Harvey Specter.
Yep.
He tries to wiggle his way out of it.
He files a motion to change counsel, and Harvey's like, we don't have that motion. And he goes, I'm so sorry. My niece was sick, right? And I had to help her.
And they're like, actually, you don't have a niece. We have your family tree.
And that's the same excuse you've used every single time you try to do this.
Yeah, because he's like, actually, it's like
his
metaphorical.
It's his goddaughter.
Yeah, right. Which is not, he doesn't even have a goddaughter. Every time he needs a continuance, he says his goddaughter's sick.
Right.
So now he has a $2,000 fine, and the judge is not happy.
No, he's not. He's been disrespected. So now he's going to have to go up against Harvey and Mike. Mike thinks it's easy street, but Harvey knows that Stemple is going to come out swinging. He's like, this guy, look, he's going to come at me.
He's a big slime ball. He's such a liar.
Yeah.
He's so not ethical. How did he pass Gerard's legal ethics class?
Yeah.
So Mike is in the lobby, and Elliot comes up to him, and he's got this whole sob story. He's like, I didn't have anything in law school, and I'm not married. I don't have any kids. This is the only thing I have. My only glory is that I beat Harvey Specter. Please take pity on me. And Mike's like, nah, dude. You do have a family. You do have children.
Right.
And you're not going to be able to tug at my heartstrings.
Right.
And then Stemple says, please, I hate my wife. My children are anchors, and the only reason I stay at the firm is for them to leave me alone.
Oh my gosh,
What
he's so
an
dramatic.
asshole.
I know, right?
What an asshole.
Yes.
What is he in? You know what he's in?
No, I mean, he's in something.
He's in stuff. Okay. He always plays this kind of slime guy. Okay.
So then Mike and Harvey are at the deposition with Elliot. There's lots of he said, she said, and like vindictive lies, according to Elliot. And Elliot says, you can go to court and not win, or you can take this settlement. Which is, interesting because Harvey is a settler.
He is, but he's not going to settle here. And
Yeah.
then Elliot's like, oh, well, does your client know that you got sued for malpractice because you pick fights with lawyers that you don't like, and you don't like me, and that's why you are not taking this settlement? That's a really good settlement.
Right.
Says all of this in front of the client. You can tell the client's like,
Ooh, what have I gotten into? Yikesy.
ooh, yikesy, bambo, whammy.
Whammy, bambo.
Bambi, bing, 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 bing. Then as Elliot is leaving, he whispers, and he says, my independent analysis will come up with anything I want them to say.
And he says it like as he's leaning into the camera.
Yeah, almost like, is it caught on camera? Is it caught on camera? They don't know.
I don't know.
But I'm like, why would he just leave the camera running? Like, why would he not turn? Because the camera's pointed at Harvey and them, right?
Is it Elliot's camera?
I thought it was Elliot's camera. I thought it was pointed at Harvey and the client.
But if it's done at the Pearson Specter office,
Then they keep it.
well, I think it's their property.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you just close it if you're going to whisper something like that.
Yeah. So then Mike goes to see Benjamin down in the basement, and he brings him a big old bag of crispy bacon.
Just bacon.
Which brings me to my first deposition. What's your favorite breakfast meat?
Oh, favorite breakfast meat. That's a good one. I mean, I love bacon.
Right.
I love sausage.
Yeah.
I love ham. Mm-hmm. Would you count eggs as a meat because it's like a pre-meat?
No.
Okay, then I'm not going to put eggs there.
Okay.
I'm going to say, I think recently I'm going to go ham, actually.
Okay.
I'm throwing a huge curveball.
Okay.
But I think a nice slice of ham. Canadian bacon.
Yeah, so good.
So good. What's yours?
All of it. I also love a good veggie sausage. When we were on the road and we stopped at like the Marriott Courtyard or whatever at the breakfast buffet, they had a good veggie sausage, which I love.
Yeah.
If it's done right. I will say, about once every 3 years, I have steak and eggs.
Oh, steak and eggs is so good.
But it's like, there's a reason why I'm doing it.
Yeah, celebrate.
Yeah.
Celebrate everything.
Hungover.
Yeah, hungover. Oh, for sure.
So once every 3 years, I'm hungover, I guess, would be the thing.
I don't think I would eat a bunch of processed meat in a bag. Because processed meat is a huge carcinogen.
Is it?
It is. I just saw a study about it.
Great.
Also, Benjamin is a huge tech whiz, but he cannot enhance the sounds from the camcorder.
Yeah.
There's
Like,
just
they
no
can't-
sound
they
waves.
can't- He's like, look, let me show you. There's nothing.
He's had so many Red Bulls trying to stay up and do this.
Yes.
And Mike says, you shouldn't be having that many Red Bulls. And Benjamin says, I did it for you, Michael.
Yeah.
I love that he calls him Michael.
Yeah, because they're friends.
Reminisce. Mm-hmm. So then Harvey and Mike and Elliot are all in the chambers asking for work product. And bluffed about something about his data analysis.
And Elliot has to give them what they want because they get the judge to convince the judge that they have something. And Elliot's like, fine, I'll give you what you want.
Yeah, this was a kind of confusing scene for me, honestly, because it felt very technical. And I was just like, I think the spirit of what they're saying is Elliot said some shady things. So
We might have it on camera.
We might have it on camera. And the judge is like, well, I trust you. Give them whatever they're asking for.
Yeah, because Elliot had already lied. So, like, he hadn't built any trust with the judge.
Right. And it was about the data of the independent analysis. So,
Yeah. Then we see Harvey and Elliot delivers everything that's required, right? He brings it into the office. And Harvey knows he's up to something, and Elliot reveals that Moot Court was rigged. So he bribed the jury, and he didn't really beat him. So once he won, he was the guy who beat Harvey Specter, and Elliot took out an ad where he was Muhammad Ali, and this was extra offensive to Harvey because Harvey loves Muhammad Ali.
And this feels like really silly to me.
It's a weird thing.
Because Harvey looks so mad about this ad. Elliot Stemple put his face on Muhammad Ali, and Harvey was the boxer who got knocked out. And I'm just like, it feels like the jib jab.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, jib jab.
Like, it's the equivalent of the jib jab, which to me is a dumb joke, not a huge prank to, like, completely be trying to fight for the rest of your life.
Good to know.
Yeah, jib jab me wherever you want.
I'll jib jab you. Get ready. I'm going to jib jab you, but then I'm going to get a picture of Sharon from Big Fan 69.
Also, maybe I think that because when I worked in an office, I used to put people's faces, I used to make their celebrity doppelganger, and then I'd print them out and put them on, like, the break room wall. And so, like, maybe now I'm like, is that bullying? Was that a jib jab? Are people don't like to see their faces in funny places?
Maybe it was.
I don't know.
You got a lot of...
I thought it was in good fun.
Yeah. So Elliot says that he would do it again if he could because Harvey was an arrogant bastard.
Not a lie.
But I love that arrogant bastard.
I love that arrogant bastard, but he is, in fact, an arrogant bastard.
Yeah.
So then Harvey and Elliot are up against each other in court. The expert witness is saying that the product is identical, but Janice, who is Stemple's client, bullies its competitors. And so Stemple says, is it possible that they are identical? And now he is filing a countersuit for patent infringement. And this is, he's not going away silently. He's going to take them for all they're worth, steal their patented information. This is personal.
For sure.
So Harvey is upset and frustrated because Elliot seems to always be one step ahead of him, and he's offered this settlement, and he rigged the Moot Court, and it's all very upsetting to Harvey, but specifically the Muhammad Ali picture, which is the silly thing.
Yeah.
And Jessica's like, here, let me tell you this old story about when I was in high school. And there was a tennis player, and I know what it's like to have an Elliot Stemple in your life. Because my record, high school tennis, 38-3. I only ever lost to Marcia Myers, who was a math geek with a killer serve. And she's like, do you want to beat him or do you want to settle? And he wants to settle. But then Mike busts in and he goes, nope, Jessica is wrong. You should not settle. What he really wants you to do has nothing to do with Harvey. We should fight it, which is because Mike has discovered what Elliot Stemple really wants.
Harvey and Mike offer more than the settlement. They offer $100 million because Elliot was going to use the glue that allows their client to do better manufacturing. And that's why he's countersued to get the technology during discovery. Is this right? I'm so tired.
This was another one of those like really technical things. But yes, the whole plan all along, Elliot Stemple wanted to get the patent information because in discovery, they could see what the patent was from Harvey and Mike's client because they have a superior glue. So then his client could have that information because it was disclosed during discovery.
Yep.
So essentially steal.
Yes.
Because Stemple is a lying piece of
shit.
So then what has to happen is Elliot either needs to drop the suit, take the settlement, or his client is going to pay a fortune. So Stemple takes the deal.
Yep.
And Harvey wins through a settlement.
Which is his favorite way to win.
Yeah, it is. Then Mike and Harvey, they beat Elliot, and Harvey took Mike out to dinner to celebrate. They're walking, and I guess when they were having the confrontation with Elliot, Harvey misquoted something. They're talking about like, well, who cares about the writer? And it's funny to me because someone had to write those lines. And he's owing everything. And they tell Donna he's still owing everything.
Right.
Then Donna's like, oh, Jessica wants to see you. And Harvey's like, oh, okay. It's like, no, not you, Harvey.
Mike.
Ooh,
gotta get called to the principal's office.
But it seems like it's going to be a good thing, right? Like they've just won this huge case.
Mm-hmm.
So Jessica and Mike, she's really happy about the win. Mm-hmm. In fact, New York lawyer wants to interview the man who was responsible, which made me go, uh-oh.
this is a red flag.
This is a red flag.
Because this is going to sound the alarm. Sound the alarm!
Yeah, and so Mike's like, well, of course I didn't put myself as first chair. I put Harvey as first chair. This is his case. He should be interviewed. And Jessica's like, yep, that's true, but you actually can't be any chair. So take yourself off of the case entirely, even though it was his entire brainchild. He did it. He was like the person who was doing all the work. He cannot be anywhere near the spotlight.
He said, I understand no spotlight. And then I said, to quote sad, Big Dick Mike, because I want to remind Mike that while he can't be in the spotlight, his dick can.
Wow.
Well, because, you know, apparently Mike Ross has a big dick. We're not saying this to be explicit or earn that rating. We're just here to recount an earlier episode.
Let's just say Mike's subpoenaed.
Mike is subpoenaed. Find somebody out there who doesn't agree with me. Seriously.
Okay.
Subpoenaed? Are you subpoenaed?
He doesn't just have subpoena. He's got a lot of pina. As he's walking out, he goes, this is always how it's going to be, isn't it? And she says, I thought you knew that. And he says, I guess I did.
It's like he did, but then this is the first time. It's kind of like in that last episode with Henry Gerard. You can practice all you want. You can know, have things memorized, understand it, whatever. But until you experience it, like this is the first time it really hit that like he could have been acknowledged and like had some accolades. And instead, he's the man behind the paper.
Right. It's like he is actually, he's second fiddle, but he's not even second fiddle here. Yeah, he's a ghostwriter.
Who cares about the writer?
Nobody cares about the writer.
Right?
Okay, the next story.
Scotty versus Lewis.
This is so reminiscent of Katrina versus Lewis.
Everybody versus
Lewis. Lewis has like a template for how he deals with new folks.
You need a template on how you versus him? Here you go.
Here we go. Dana gets it.
Here's your sign.
Dana is welcomed by Jessica in the partner meeting. She's at the seat right to the left of Jessica. And she is going to take the lead on an acquisition for Franklin. And that's the client. Lewis is late. He has a huge wheelie bag, like a suitcase bag full of, I guess,
rolled in.
Files?
I don't know.
But he rolls in late and he's like, no, that's bullshit because I brought Franklin into this firm. They're mine. I should be on this. And I'm the acquisition guy, right? I'm that guy.
Right.
So I should be handling it. But Scotty is like, no, because in the bylaws it says if you're 10 minutes late to a meeting, you have no standing. And Lewis, didn't you write those bylaws?
For without punctuality, we are animals.
How dare you quote me to me?
I loved that.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
Lewis is seething.
So mad. And he just like huffs and puffs his way into Jessica's office.
And she's basically like, I don't want to talk about Franklin Courier. And he says, it's not about Franklin Courier. She goes, okay, what's it about? And he says, it's about Franklin Courier. Yep. Lewis goes in to find out where he falls in the pecking order with Scotty because he feels like because she's been assigned this, it means he's been demoted. And Jessica's like, Lewis, that's not what that means at all. I didn't screw you. Your own bylaws screwed you out of this.
Right.
It's not personal. This is business.
Right.
And she says, you usually choose the enemy route, Lewis. You need to make friends, not make enemies. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she names 5 different people that he had a problem with. And he goes, those are isolated incidents. She lists 3 more. And he goes, okay, I understand what you're saying. He can redefine himself in this new firm. And his whole outlook on life has changed. And I'm like, there he goes. He's going to be friends with Scotty.
There we go. It's also really quick, like a quick turnaround to have your outlook on life change like that.
Yes. But I think it was surface level changed.
Yeah, for sure. Lewis brings Scotty an Hermes scarf.
Very nice gift. There's a pillow that's on Scotty's sofa.
Is it Charlie Chaplin?
I thought the mustache was too big for Charlie Chaplin.
It could be.
I didn't know who it was. I was like, is this
Charlie
Harry
Chaplin
Houdini?
painting over there?
It's not. Charlie Chaplin has the little mustache.
Yeah.
This was a big one.
Yeah.
But I was
It's
like,
not Elvis Presley.
It's not Elvis. Is it a president?
Could be. Maybe
It
that's
could be a
Truman.
president.
Maybe that's a Truman or a Roosevelt.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Could definitely be. It's
Yeah.
either Harry Houdini, Roosevelt, or Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah.
Okay. Lewis thinks they're friends now because she's like, great, nice working with you. He's like, great, now that we're friends, I want my case back.
And she's like, that's not how it works. Like, I don't care. He's like, I just gave you such a beautiful pashmina. She goes, I don't care if you gave me the only pashmina. Like, That's not, I can separate this, and you obviously are attaching your gift to being able to get your gift back to you.
Mm-hmm. So Lewis decides to make up some more bylaws, and he says he is going to have to come to all the meetings with Scotty because he's the attorney of record, and that's the new bylaw that he is writing because he's in charge of writing the bylaws.
That's so stupid.
This is just so like Lewis and Nigel,
Yeah.
Katrina and Lewis. He gets so short-sighted, and he starts just panicking.
So then Scotty and Harvey are back at their apartment, or it's at Harvey's
I
apartment.
guess it's Harvey. She hasn't moved in. Does she have her own spot?
I guess.
She's
I
there
don't know.
all
I think
the
she's just
time.
kind of crashing there. And so they're at the apartment. They're talking about Elliot Stemple. Obviously, Scotty knows who he is because of law school. I noted, gosh, they drink a lot to be so thin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a lot of drinking alcohol.
Alcohol's also a huge carcinogen.
It is. Debbie Downer.
She's like, listen, I want to win. I want people to know me as someone who can win, not just Harvey Specter's girlfriend. So that's why I'm picking this fight with Louis Litt, because if I beat him, then everyone knows. And Harvey, like, finishes her sentence. He's the biggest, baddest prisoner in the yard. And she's like, yes, how do I do it?
Yeah.
So Harvey comes into his office, and Louis has been up all night doing work that is not needed.
Yeah.
He's got 8 years of holding corporate returns that were actually assigned by Scotty because Scotty used Harvey's computer. This feels very bad for lawyers. That Scotty
is it illegal?
Yes. She can't be like accessing Harvey's client stuff. Even my grandfather, who wasn't practicing law any of my adult life, when he would send an email, would be like, this is a confidential, like at the bottom, a whole disclaimer about it being a confidential email, not for your eyes if it's not intended for you, blah, 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 whole disclaimer. And
He
Scotty's
did go to
just,
Harvard Law School.
and he did. But Scotty's just out here logging into Harvey's email where she can see all kinds of client email. Like, this is so awful.
Yeah.
To me, this is like, you're out of the firm. This is not a prank.
Right. You out.
You out.
You out.
But Harvey's just like, yeah, let it go. Like, she was just joking around. And Lewis is like, no, harm was done. I'm going to the mattresses against Dana Scott.
I don't understand that saying, and I've heard it before.
It's from The Godfather.
It is?
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Godfather.
Me either, but they acknowledge that it's from The Godfather. That's the only reason I knew it was from The Godfather.
Wow. Okay.
But if you go to the mattresses, what, you going to bed with someone? Or are you, like, beating someone up? The reason why Lewis watched The Godfather was to find common ground to expand Harvey and his friendship.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed I haven't seen The Godfather.
Yeah, I haven't. I should see it.
Should we?
It's one of my dad's, like, favorite movies. I
Really?
should probably watch it.
Okay, we'll watch it. We'll get it done.
Okay.
We'll get it done.
So Lewis and Katrina. Katrina is back. I'm so excited she's back. 'Cause
Yes,
I
you predicted
it.
this.
And Lewis is like, where are the documents? And she's like, I didn't do it because you sent an email saying you were going to be the bigger person. And he was like, I would never send an email like that. Of course it wasn't me. It was definitely Scotty. So now Scotty is not only hacked into Harvey's email, she's hacked into Lewis's email.
Is it hacking if it's just open?
I think either way it's a
You're right.
breach of
You're right.
someone's property and all of that.
Right.
But they also need to be more protective of their space, I suppose. And Scotty is like CC'd them on an email. She's just gone ahead with the plan for Franklin acquisition. Lewis is like, oh yeah, you just CC'd me, but you're meeting with them and I had no input in it.
Right.
And she goes, yes, I did, because you didn't do anything and it did come from me. So as she's walking away, they're like, you're going to get lit up. You're going to get lit the hell up. And Dana's like, oh, that's cute. Lit up?
Yeah. I'm going to go make fun of that on my Facebook.
Which is so, when was this?
2013.
2013.
2013. It's prime
Facebook
FB.
time.
And, yeah.
Lewis and Scotty are then at this lunch meeting with Franklin Courier. Scotty is crushing the acquisition.
Yeah.
She knows everything. Top, bottom, left, right. And then she talks about how there's going to be something with the Whitner group.
Yes.
And Lewis is like, oh my gosh, the Whitner group? They're being investigated by the FTC for fraud.
Right.
If you would have let me know earlier, I would have flagged this for you.
And then it's like, hey, she's new, but just watch out because she's going to be really great.
Yeah, which is so demeaning.
Yeah, and so then she goes and corners him over by the bathroom. She's like, what'd you do? He's like, oh, I might have just called and tipped my friend off that there could be something going on with that company, which is like, she's like, don't do that to that company. Like, why are you running their name through the mud? He's like, they're privately held. It's fine. They're going to recover. Like, it's not like they're going to have to dump shares. And I'm like, that's somebody's freaking business.
I know. Can you imagine?
This. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and she goes, you're really a dick. And he turns around and says, I think my favorite line of my life. He says, I'm Moby goddamn Dick, and you just swam in my waters. I am gonna start saying that all the time. I'm Moby goddamn Dick, and you just swam in my waters.
That's beautiful. I'm scared of you.
Because I'm Moby goddamn Dick.
It's so great. And he's fired the F up.
He is lit up.
He has lit himself up.
So then Donna is in the office and she brings Lewis a sugary coffee drink and tells him, you need to make amends with Scotty. She just knows them all, and she knows that if something doesn't change, this is not going to end well. Harvey, Lewis, Scotty, like there's all
a pattern.
Hyper competitive Harvard law grads. Someone needs to drop it, and she says, you need to be the one to drop it. And Lewis asks, are you saying that you or Harvey are going to hold this against me? And Donna tells Lewis the same thing that Harvey told her. Like, their friendship does not depend on him doing what they suggest he do.
Right.
That's not what the friendship is. But as a friend, you have to tell people the hard truth sometimes.
Yeah.
Whether they take it or not. Like, you don't have to take some... My friend says, you look great in hot pink kitten heels. I'm like, you know what? That's great. Not for me. I'm not going to wear that.
That's the hard truth.
That's the hard truth. People are always telling me, Maggie, you should wear more hot pink kitten heels. And I'm like...
I love that that's an example of when somebody looks really good in something that's a hard truth.
It's so hard because you're like, I don't like it. You're never going to see me in it.
It's literally the opposite of a hard truth. The hard truth would be if you don't look good and not pink
It's hard to accept, Amanda, it's hard to accept compliments. It's hard to... It's very hard when people are constantly throwing admiration
like
your
Brene
way.
Brown and Adam Grant are thinking about when they're talking about like a culture of feedback and like, you know, clear as kind. Like, it's a hard truth when you look good in something.
Hard. Yeah. And
it's hard for me to tell you and even harder for you to receive this compliment about your
about something so
wardrobe.
horrendous. Yeah, right. And but you don't want to hurt your friend's feelings and be like, you've told me this thing about myself and I'm going to completely ignore it. So that's what Lewis is very similarly.
Yeah.
She's like, you're so powerful, drop it. And he's like, I'm so powerful, I'm not going to drop it.
Yeah.
Will we still be friends?
I don't know.
Like me and my powerful kitten heels.
Hot pink ones.
So then Lewis sees Scotty, and they're in the break room, and Lewis has implemented the amendment about having to be around all of these interactions with Franklin Courier without approval, which is so dumb. And Scotty is so mad. And this means, because he has done this, because he has been trying to implement a bylaw without approval, he is now officially immediately removed from the bylaw committee if he does not back down. Because he has violated his own bylaws by trying to squeeze in another bylaw to micromanage Scotty.
He lit himself up.
He lit himself the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then we learn here, too, Scotty's like, you are messing with the wrong person. Because who do you think assigned Nigel to the disillusion? And then she goes, meow, in his face. Throwing that dang Mercado in his face.
Yeah.
She's a strategic thinker.
Yeah, she is. Probably high on her Clifton strengths.
For sure.
Do you know what your 5 strengths are?
I haven't taken it since I was like 22.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I bet they really have changed.
You're not as strong as anymore as you used to be. More powerful in kitten heels.
Yeah, like, I gotta tell you, 3 of my top 5 strengths were kitten heels. And I was like, I'm not taking this feedback.
That's fair.
I'm going to be wearing Crocs.
That's fair.
Oh, thank you very much.
They are great. Okay, so then there's Lewis and Harvey. Scotty has underlined 6 different traps to the bylaws to embarrass him. And she didn't try and trap Lewis. She tried to defeat the meanest, toughest guy in the firm. This is what Harvey is saying. Of course.
Because Lewis is like, she's just trying to embarrass me.
Yeah, and Lewis needs Harvey to use his power to get this case from Scotty.
And Harvey asks him, are you asking me as a friend or are you calling in a chip? And I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for Lewis to remember friendship. These lessons he's learned from Harvey and from Donna. And that he can still be friends with Harvey and Scotty and Donna if they don't do this thing that he's really asking them for. But instead, he's like, no, I'm calling in my chip.
Yeah.
We're not friends here. And so Harvey takes the chip. The metaphorical chip.
Yeah, and then he has to go see Scotty back at the Spectre penthouse, you know? Harvey asks Scotty to give the transaction back to Lewis. Harvey needs her to do this favor, but he can't tell her why. She says, am I talking to my boyfriend or a named partner? And she goes, come on, Harvey, you can't have it both ways. And then he says, you're talking to a named partner.
In his house, in casual clothes.
Yeah. No, he's in a suit still.
Well, she's in casual clothes.
Yeah, she's in
It's a
casual
power
clothes.
dynamic. He's the named partner. He hasn't taken the suit off yet.
Yeah.
Maybe if he would have waited to have this conversation once he was in a Henley.
That's fair. Could have really dumbed it down, you know?
Different.
I don't know. I feel like you could have seen that coming, just like you could see this train coming around the bend to Prediction Town.
I see a train coming. It's coming round the bend. I ain't seen predictions since I don't know when.
Stuck in real life suits time. Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so here's my predictions.
Okay.
I think Mike is going to spiral a little bit because now he realizes he has hit the ceiling and he will never be Harvey. Especially with Rachel ending this episode with like, maybe you'll get a promotion, and you just see Mike being like,
It can't be written up publicly in a good way, so no.
Yes, because what's going to happen is Rachel's going to go to law school. She is going to come back to Pearson Spectre. She is going to be able to rise in the ranks, maybe even be a named partner. Mike will always be at the same level for the rest of his life, and his brain needs some stimulation. So I don't think this is good for anybody. Scotty and Harvey took a big hit with the named partner Chip calling in, but I don't know if Harvey will ever tell her about Mike, which I think is the difference between Mike and Harvey, right? Mike trusts who he's with fully with this secret. Harvey would not, but also it's not really his secret to tell.
It's not.
But it kind of is, because he's the one who started this mess by inviting Mike in to do this. Lewis, I think, will gloat about being the toughest guy in the yard, and even though he was a crybaby about it, and then Scotty will rip him apart. Kyle, my husband, your brother, thinks that Scotty's actually gonna like approach Lewis with pity, but I think that she's gonna approach him with cold hard facts of a woman's scorn.
I can see that too.
Yeah. And then Elliot Stemple, I think he will come back. I think he's another Travis Tanner type, another Hardman. I feel like they're just accumulating bad guys, but they're all going to be coming back, boxing them in the ring.
Yep. I mean, I'm not saying yep to your prediction. I'm just saying, yep, I agree that you have predictions.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Because I can't confirm or deny, even though I really want to.
Well, let's wrap this up.
You want to wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up like a big red ribbon on this present of this episode we're giving to you.
Thank you for all the positive feedback on the Harvey Specter Monthly first edition.
This has been wonderful. People have been very kind, and we appreciate all of our subscribers. We would love to have more, so make sure you subscribe. It's super fun. It's silly. It's also, though, like, probably what Harvey would have wanted.
I think so, for sure.
Yeah. So thanks so much for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the Harvey Specter Monthly newsletter. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or leave a review.
If you don't have anything nice to say, you can eat it. Tostinos. Oh, I said Tostinos, which are
Tostinos, the pizza.
But I meant Tostitos.
Yeah, you meant Tostitos.
I think I said Tostitos when I was at first talking about chips. Tostinos, Tostitos.
Man, if we didn't pierce the eardrums of all of our listeners.